Hey, I'm Shane. This is Wooden Fire Barbecue. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to smoke some beef cheek and make some barbacoa tacos. Let's jump into it. All right, so here we have some beef cheek. It is not an attractive piece of meat, so there's a lot of connective tissue in here, and but as you can see, there's a lot of intermuscular fat running through these, and it is like the juiciest piece of fatty brisket you've ever had. I had some sliced beef cheek in Austin, Texas at Leroy and Lewis late last year, and it kind of blew my mind. So I came home and started making barbacoa, and I really like it. It's really easy. So what you've got to do basically is there's a lot of connective tissue and fat, as I said, so you're going to be cutting through it, and don't be afraid. There is, as I said, it's kind of just all through here. So just keep going, and there's going to be several different pieces of muscle in here. So you just kind of separate them out. And then you trim them up and get them seasoned up and ready for the smoker. So first time I made this, I was afraid to tell my family what it was just because of how it looks. I was afraid they would turn their nose up to it. And traditionally, barbacoa is not only made, it's basically the whole head of the cow. And so I know a lot of people these days will use beef cheek and tongue, but I think my family would revolt if I tried to feed them tongue. So I'm sticking with the beef cheek. But like I say, you just sit here and you trim as much of this connective tissue and fat off as you can until you're happy with it. And then you season it up. So I'll finish trimming this up and we'll be right back. Okay, all trimmed up. So as you can see, this is all of the fat and connective tissue that is in there. There were 3 packages. If I didn't mention, I picked these up at my local Walmart. You will find them in the meat section, right along the oxtail and the cow tongue and the tripe. So keep a lookout for that. But yeah, I mean, look at that marbling. That is some nice looking stuff. So what we're going to do is get these seasoned up with a real easy rub, which I'll show you how to make. And so stick around. So the rub we're using today is pretty straightforward. It is 2 parts 16 mesh black pepper, 1 part Diamond Crystal kosher salt, and 1/4 part garlic powder. That is it. So we're gonna get this all mixed up. And that's all there is to it. Let's season the meat. All right, so just gonna take your meat, take your dry rub, and just start coating everything all over. Now, I do not recommend keeping a glove on and then sticking it in the dry rub, unless you just plan to use all the dry rub at once. But this, I made enough that I can probably keep some for later down the road. So don't cross-contaminate. Clean hand, dirty hand. And I am constantly changing gloves while I'm filming these videos. So I don't want you to think that I'm cutting meat and then shoving my hands in to dry rub. Again, you can be as aggressive on your trim as you want to be on these. The first time I did this, I did not go nearly as aggressive on the trim, but the issue I ran into is that you end up having a lot of fat in your finished product, and you're having to pick through stuff to find the meat, and it's a bit of a pain. So that is why I trim a little more aggressively these days. So, all right, we're almost done here. And once we get this all finished up, we are going to take it outside to the pit. Stick around. All right, so I got the pit rocking around 250 degrees. I'm running some oak wood today, and this is an experiment I'm trying, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so let's get this stuff on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this at 250 for about 4 hours. I just want to get some color on this. I'm not looking to render fat or anything like that. So just trying to get some color, because what I'm going to do, this is for those of you who have that job that doesn't allow you to just sit in front of your pit all day, like me. I'm going to smoke this today, and then tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to throw it in the crock pot with some beef stock and some other stuff, some onion and whatnot, and I'm going to let it go all day, and then we're going to have barbacoa tomorrow night for dinner. So that's what we got going, and like I say, I'm going to go about 3.5 to 4 hours just to get some good color on this, and then we'll be done for the day until we move to the crock pot. So stick around. Okay, so we're about 3 hours and 15 minutes into the cook. Let's see where we are. All right, that 166, 67. So that's about as far as I want to take it. So what I'm going to do is pull this off now, and it's going to rest overnight in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to put it in the crock pot with some onion and some beef stock. And then I'm going to let it go all day. And then tomorrow night is barbacoa taco time. So I'll see you then. Now, I will say, you don't have to do it in the crock pot like I'm doing it. Mine is simply a time constraint. So at this point, if you want to continue this cook, you could then put it into a pan, put your beef stock or your beef fat or whatever you want to put in it, and then throw it back on here and let it finish. That is perfectly acceptable. But based on my time constraints, I'm choosing the crock pot method. So here I have chopped up some onion. I'm adding it to the crock pot. That's going to be the base layer. Then we're going to stick the beef cheek on top of that. Get it all packed in as best you can. Sometimes it can get a little tight. And then in with the beef stock. I have already added 1 container of beef stock. This is the second container of beef stock. You want to fill it up till it just gets right at the top of the beef cheek as best you can. Cover up as much as you can, and then we're going to go about 8 hours. And after the 8 hours, here's the finished product. Falling apart tender. You can just squeeze it in your hand. It's really good. And we're going to throw it on a tortilla. This is a store-bought tortilla. If you want to know how to make a fresh tortilla, just let me know. Drop me a comment. I'll show you that. A little bit of meat. This is an avocado crema that I made. Again, I can show that in a video too. And some pickled red onions. And a little bit of queso fresco to top it off. All right, so here's the taste test. Yep, it's really good. One of my favorite things to make. And if you had said to me 5 years ago, this is going to be one of your favorite things, I would have told you you're crazy. But I highly recommend you give it a try. Get outside your comfort zone. That's what I did with this. And I'm so glad I did. So I hope this video has been beneficial to you, and I hope it's caused you to get outside that comfort zone. And until next time, go out, cook some good food, be a little better tomorrow than you were today. So until next time, cheers.